I'm done whispering, God's warning hits now. There comes a moment when the quiet patience of the universe shifts. A moment when the gentle taps you ignored turn into earthquakes that shake the bones of your excuses. Everybody walks around thinking they have more time to waste, more time to stall, more time before consequences come collecting their debt. But the truth is simple and merciless: time doesn't negotiate. And when the inner voice, the one you've shoved into the basement of your conscience, finally stands up and roars, it doesn't ask permission. It announces. It declares. It storms through the walls you built around your purpose and says, I'm done whispering. You've been warned. Not by thunder from the clouds, but by every sleepless night, every frustration you tried to suppress, every jealousy you felt when you saw someone else living the life you know, deep down, you were meant for. Those weren't random emotions. They were alarms, sirens, signals, divine nudges that grew sharper every time you refused to rise. And now that voice inside you isn't speaking softly anymore. It's punching through the silence. It's shaking your inner world. It's slamming its fist on the table of your destiny and saying, enough. You've been told to wake up before, but you kept hitting spiritual snooze. You waited for the right moment, as if destiny would politely knock on your door and wait for you to find your slippers. You waited until the fear passed, not realizing fear doesn't leave, it bows only when you walk through it. You waited until people approved, until conditions were perfect, until you felt ready. But readiness is a myth sold by hesitation. And hesitation has chained you long enough. There is a warning rising in you now, not to punish you, but to pull you out of the small cage you built around your potential. Everything you lost, everything that shattered, everything that burned down around you was not meant to break you. It was meant to strip you of illusions. It was meant to push you into the clarity you kept running from. God doesn't take things from you to weaken you, He removes what you use as an excuse to stay buried. You prayed for strength, so life sent storms. You prayed for clarity, so life exposed what you refused to see. You prayed for change, so life removed the people, habits, and comforts that kept you numb, and still you waited. Still you whispered your dreams instead of declaring them. Still you shrank yourself so you could fit into environments that were never designed to carry your calling. Still you dimmed your fire so others wouldn't complain about the brightness. Still you held your tongue when you should have spoken truth. Still you hid when you were meant to lead, but that era has reached its final breath. The warning is not a threat. It is a turning point. It is the line drawn in the sand. It is the voice of every version of you that died because you refused to live fully. It is the echo of the strength buried under layers of self-doubt. It is the divine charge that says, if you do not move now, everything inside you will revolt. Your spirit is tired of crawling. It's tired of negotiating with fear. Tired of asking for permission to be extraordinary. Tired of pretending you don't feel the fire. Tired of shrinking for people who aren't even brave enough to face themselves. Tired of suppressing instincts you were born with. Tired of playing roles written by others. You do not need validation to begin. You do not need acceptance to act. You do not need applause to rise. You do not need a crowd to walk into your calling. You don't even need confidence, just courage. Confidence is something you build, courage is something you choose. And the universe is making it impossible for you to choose anything else now, because the price of staying the same has become more painful than the cost of change. You feel it. The restlessness. The irritation. The emotional friction. The dissatisfaction you can't explain. That's not anxiety. That's not burnout. That is misalignment. That is your soul suffocating under the weight of your potential. And when the soul can't breathe, it creates earthquakes. Internal ones first. External ones next. God's warning isn't. Be afraid. God's warning is, wake up or be shaken awake. Every delay from this point forward will cost you more than you want to pay. Every compromise will drain you more than it used to. Every old habit will poison you faster than before. Every wrong relationship will suffocate you harder. Every environment that does not match your destiny will feel unbearable. Life is done being gentle with your potential. It's done whispering. It's done giving you signs you pretend not to see. This is the moment where comfort becomes painful and change becomes survival. You don't realize how powerful you are because you've never held yourself to the standard of who you're capable of becoming. You've lived at 40%, maybe 20%, maybe even 10% of your capacity, and still you have glimpses of greatness. Imagine what happens when you stop holding back. Imagine what happens when you stop negotiating with fear. Imagine what happens when you stop apologizing for wanting more. Every calling comes with confrontation. Every destiny demands discipline. Every breakthrough destroys something old. That discomfort you feel is your old self dying. Let it die. Stop resurrecting the version of you that kept you small. Stop breathing life into excuses. Stop giving CPR to habits that were designed to kill your potential. Stop carrying people who would drop you without hesitation. Stop watering connections that do not water you in return. You were not created to live in circles. You were created to build paths. You were not created to be hidden. You were created to be seen. You were not created to be passive. You were created to be powerful. You were not created to whisper. You were created to command. There's a moment in every warrior's life where the shield is no longer enough. Where hiding behind defense becomes cowardice. Where the only way forward is forward. That is where you stand now. You're not being nudged, You're being pushed because destiny does not wait for those who hesitate. There is no peace in playing small anymore. No rest in pretending. No safety in staying where you are. Fear used to control you. But now the fear of staying the same is louder. And that is divine intervention. God's warning hits not to break you, but to break what imprisons you. It hits to wake you up to the urgency of your life. It hits to remind you that wasted potential is one of the most unforgiving regrets a human can face. It hits to remind you that you are not here to occupy space, you are here to shift it. Every day you delay your calling, someone else suffers from the absence of what you were meant to contribute. Every day you stay silent, someone who needed your voice goes unheard. Every day you refuse to grow, someone who needed your example stays stuck. Every day you settle, you betray the future that was meant to be yours. You think your purpose is just about you. Purpose is never singular. It echoes. It ripples. It ignites others, and that's why the warning is loud now. Because your stagnation has consequences beyond your own life. The world needs you to rise. The future needs you to move. The people connected to your destiny need you to stop delaying. You were chosen for something. You feel it. You've always felt it. You just learned to ignore it because it scared you. Good. Things that don't scare you aren't big enough. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for clarity before you start. Clarity comes after movement. Stop waiting for signs when you've already received 1,000. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No one is coming. You're the rescue. You're the turning point. You're the one meant to break the generational chains, rewrite the narrative, and rise. The storm around you is not punishment, it is positioning. The pressure on you is not attack, it is acceleration. The frustration inside you is not weakness, it is fuel. The fire in your chest is not anger, it is awakening. You can keep pretending you don't hear it, but the voice is only going to get louder. You can keep trying to numb it with distractions, but the emptiness will swallow the false comforts. You can keep running, but every path will lead you right back to the purpose you are avoiding. You were not created to whisper your destiny. You were created to declare it. You were not created to tiptoe through life. You were created to stamp the ground with every step. Rise, move, break the limitations you wrapped around yourself. Cut the ropes of self-doubt. Burn the bridge to the version of you that tolerated mediocrity, and step into the magnitude waiting for you. This is not a suggestion. This is not a reminder. This is the moment. This is the turning point. This is the spiritual earthquake that forces you into alignment. This is God saying through the storms, through the silence, through the fire inside your chest, I'm done whispering, move. And now you stand at the edge of everything you were afraid to face. The threshold between who you were and who you must become. This is the moment where hesitation dies and determination is born. This is where you stop asking for signs and start becoming the sign. You've already felt the shaking inside you, the unrest that refuses to quiet down, the sense that something bigger than your fear is demanding to be lived. That's not coincidence. That's not random emotion. That's the divine countdown, the final warning, the spiritual surge that says, if you don't move now, you'll drown in the weight of your own wasted potential. You don't get to stay the same and expect a different life. You don't get to cling to comfort and still expect transformation. You don't get to hide from your calling and still expect fulfillment. Life does not reward the ones who sit in the shadows rehearsing their excuses. It rewards the ones who stand in the arena, bloody, bruised, terrified, but unshakably committed. And whether you realize it or not, you are already in that arena. The battle is happening with or without your permission. The question is whether you choose to fight or fall. You've carried enough dead weight, opinions that never mattered, fears that never protected you, memories that only wounded you. You've replayed the same doubts, the same insecurities, the same failures like some broken record that refuses to stop spinning. But the truth is brutal and liberating at the same time. You are not stuck because of life. You are stuck because you're still trying to live as the version of yourself that life has already outgrown. Every calling demands a shedding. Everything powerful requires a price. You don't get to keep everything and rise. Something must be left behind. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's the people who refuse to grow. Maybe it's the habits that keep you small. Maybe it's the story that told you you are not enough. Whatever it is, it cannot follow you into the future you are called to. And deep inside, you know exactly what must go. You've always known. You've just been hoping you could carry it with you. But destiny is ruthless about weight. Only the essential survives the climb. The warning that hits you now is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's the universe clearing your path by force because you refuse to clear it by choice. It's the divine saying, if you won't let go, I'll remove it. If you won't step forward, I'll push you. If you won't rise, I'll shake the ground until you have no choice. That is not cruelty. That is mercy disguised as chaos. Because the most dangerous thing in life is not pain. It's comfort that lasts too long. And God will shatter comfort before He lets you destroy your calling. So if your life feels like it's falling apart, good. That means the reconstruction has begun. If everything you relied on feels unreliable, good. That means you're being forced to build your own foundation. If doors are closing, good. That means they were never meant to lead you anywhere. If people are leaving, good. That means their chapter is over. If fear is louder than ever, good. That means you're standing in front of the threshold of transformation. Fear is always the final guard at the gate of the new life. And the only way past it is through it. This is your moment to stop running from the fight and start running toward who you were created to be. This is your moment to silence the voice that says maybe later and answer the voice that says now. This is the moment where destiny stops negotiating with you. You either rise or you remain. You either break the cycle or repeat it. You either become the person you're meant to be or you stay trapped inside the version you've outgrown. Nothing is waiting for you anymore. Opportunity isn't coming later. Strength isn't coming later. Motivation isn't coming later. Courage isn't coming later. This is it. This is the interruption to your excuses. This is the moment where life stops whispering and starts roaring through your bones, and that roar is saying, move even if you shake, speak even if your voice trembles, begin even if you feel unprepared, step forward even if fear follows, choose your future over your past, choose your calling over your comfort. Choose your purpose over your excuses. Because if you don't take this step, nothing changes. And if nothing changes, the warning becomes reality, you lose the life that was meant for you. Not because God denied it, but because you denied yourself. And you will not let that be your story. Not now. Not after everything you've endured. Not after everything that has been stripped away to prepare you. Not after all the signs you've ignored. Not after the inner fire has burned too hot to contain. So here is the last truth, the last surge, the last part of the warning that refuses to be silenced. Your old life is gone. Your excuses are dead. Your time is now. You don't need more proof. You don't need more signs. You don't need more clarity. You don't need more validation. You don't need one more day of fear. You just need to move. Because God isn't whispering anymore. God isn't nudging anymore. God isn't suggesting anymore. God is declaring through every corner of your life, I'm done whispering. Rise now.